sharing now. Thank you very much for joining our launch event that we waited a long time for. This was originally scheduled for early summer in person, but events obviously has meant that we had to reconsider how to do this, and we hope that it will still be an interesting event online. So I just want to quickly introduce you to the steering group. Obviously, you may have already seen myself and Rox, who are the co-chairs of this network, but also on the list of attendees, you'll also see other members of our steering group. So we've got Sam Weston as our membership officer, Jane Price as our media officer, Lindsay Rice as our prizes officer, Gisli Johnson, who's also speaking today, Chris Barth, who is the Chief Executive of the National Appropriate Adult Network. The one position that we haven't filled yet that we hope to fill, in that it's one of the aims of our network, is to include someone with lived experience as a critical friend to sit on the steering group to ensure that our endeavours are aimed at taking, or our endeavours take the views of those with lived experience on board as well. So in terms of today's launch, there's a few things just to go through the structure of today. I'm obviously introducing the session and the network. Then we've got the keynote speech by Gisli Johnson, followed by a discussion and question and answer session. And at the end, we've got the announcement of our raffle winner, who I've seen has entered the meeting, so that's good news. And we'll wrap things up by 6 o'clock. So just wanted to give you some background about where this network came from, where the idea of the network came from. And it came from discussions between myself, Rox and Chris about the fact that there was a gap in terms of a space for people interested in all the different types of vulnerability to come together to think about collaborative research, but also for academic researchers working in the field of vulnerability to come together with practitioners to share their knowledge and to also learn about practitioners' needs in terms of research. So this was something that we'd been discussing for a while, and given I already sat on the executive committee of the British Society of Criminology, I suggested that we apply for one of their specialist networks, the benefit being that we could access some funding to try and arrange our events around these particular aims. And as I've said, our main aims are to bring together academics with an interest in vulnerability in all its different forms, with a view of potentially even bidding for grants, but also to join with practitioners in terms of learning what their needs are in terms of research and in terms of sharing our research findings. But you'll see that also one of our aims at the bottom there that is also important is to ensure that we involve users and those with lived experience in terms of trying to achieve these aims. So what have we done to date? Because actually we were successful in our proposal. Our proposal was approved back in December 2019. So obviously things were slowed down because of COVID, but we've still managed to do quite a lot of the kind of background work in readiness for the launch of the network. So we've got 5 themes that I'll come on to in a moment. In other words, kind of 5 sub-networks or 5 areas of interest. We've got over 60 subscribers to the network, and we were chatting about the composition of our subscribers earlier. So about 70% of those subscribers are academics and 30% practitioners, and we're thinking about ways to enlarge practitioner engagement in the network. And about the majority are from the UK, but about 15% are from overseas. So again, that's something we were chatting about in terms of trying to increase interest from overseas colleagues. In terms of social media, we've been getting our website ready, which is nearly ready to launch. We've got our Twitter account and our mailing list. And also today we were talking about launching a YouTube channel. Given the current environment, the likelihood is that most events are going to be online and recorded. And those who are more knowledgeable about these things than me have let me know that YouTube is a good platform for broadcasting these kinds of events. Owing to Lindsay's work, we've got a sponsored prize, and we're nearly in the position of making the final tweaks to the eligibility criteria, so that will be ready to promote soon. And we're lucky enough to have a prize sponsored by the International Review of Criminology for £100 worth of Sage book vouchers, and that's going to be for a peer-reviewed article on or from the field of vulnerability research. We've also had an event and an output already, a pre-recorded webinar on vulnerability. Essentially, we had put in a proposal for a panel on vulnerability to be held at the British Society of Criminology conference that was due to be held in Liverpool in July, which was ultimately cancelled. And Sam Weston was convening that panel and had invited me to participate along with some other colleagues. So Sam decided to bring the panel together online, and we actually recorded it as the series of presentations and the discussion as a webinar, which is now available on YouTube and will be on our website too. Also, ROCs with Sam Fairclough have been developing the Defending Vulnerability theme and have recently published a blog under their theme as well. So take a look at that as well. So just to quickly summarise the themes that we have currently, and this is something that can evolve. So if any of you want to suggest a theme that you think would be a useful addition to the network, please do get in touch. And equally, if you want to get more involved in the current themes that we have on the slide, then please do get in touch with the theme leads. Now, of course, there is areas of overlap in terms of the areas of interest, but we see that as a strength in respect of the work of the network. Just a few words of thanks.